Today is your how-to video on how to dismantle and put back together a rotary brush transmission. So on the rotary brush transmissions, you see you have 4 big Allen wrench bolts that holds this outside cover on. Well, right here at the very front is a little Allen head screw. This little Allen head screw is what holds your transmission stem in the brush. I'm going to take it out and show you. So when you take this little screw out, now you can pull your transmission stem out. Your transmission stem has a jet right here, but it also inside has a filter screen in here. So normally you don't plug your jet. This little filter screen, if a piece of debris can pass through this filter screen, it can pass through the hole on this jet. 99% of the time, this is what gets plugged. So you drop it back in there, tighten up your filter screen, and now you're ready to put your transmission stem back in there. So all you do is just slide it in there. When it goes in all the way, this little bolt, you want to put it back in there. It's got a little Allen wrench. It's a, I think 2.5. It's a 2.5 Allen wrench. You ain't got to Gorilla tighten it because it's just a little bitty nut on there. So that's tightened back up on there. This little bolt is how you know which way to put your propeller, because your transmission stem goes in this way, your propeller wants to catch the water right here. So right here is your transmission stem, this little one. You want to be able to catch the propeller this way to spin the propeller. This is which way you know to put the propeller back into the transmission. All right, so we're going to start building. So on your brush, you have an axle. So on your axle, the first piece you put in is a tapered, always goes down. So this has a taper and it's flat. So the taper will be your first one you push in. You want to push it all the way down in there. So once it's all the way down in there, you want to start with your transmission. So on your transmission, on this brass housing, you have a gear that sits right here. You push it down on there. Now you have these little white washers. So you start with the thickest one on the bottom. You push that down in there. And then you slide your gears in there. When you slide them in there, make sure they line up and they push in there flush. So as you can see, it's all flush. Now you get you another outer gear. Bevel goes down. See the bevel? Goes downward. Push it deep inside there. Now you're to your first gear housing. When you push your little gear housing in there, you'll rotate it to where it just drops right in there. And you can see the gears are flush with that outer gear. So now you go to your next washer. This is the thick one. The first 2 are thick, the last one's the thin one. So you push that washer in there. There's your next gear. Push your next gear in there, push it down in there, and this is your last outer gear. Push that in there. Now this little washer is a thin one. See how thin it is? That's your last one. Always remember the thin ones go to your propeller side. Well, shoot. Push it down. Well, should I keep? Now, with the propeller being this way, so this housing, you want it to go just like this. So because I've got the little Allen wrench, this screw right here is for the jet, the way the water spins. So this goes in here just like this. So I'll tighten it down a little bit. Off to the next one. So we got that in there. Your first, remember, bevel goes down. All right, now we're going to start with your first gear that locks into the axle. So you want to push it down in there, make sure it's tight. Put your big washer on there. That's the big white washer. When you put it in there, make sure they all drop in and they're flush. Your next outer gear, bevel down. Push it down in there. Now we're going to go to the next set of gears. See how flush they are with the outer gear and this gear? Now we're going to go to your next fat washer. Always remember, these washers goes from big, big, and then small. Here's your last set of gears. Push it down in there, and this is your last set of gears. Make sure you put your little thin washer in there. Push it down on there, and there you go. So now that's in there, we're going to screw it into the transmission. Now with the propeller gear on the inside, you can see it's locked in on both of them. So before you put your split rings on there, you want to snug it up. When you're holding the transmission to you, away from you clockwise tightens it, and if you want to loosen it, you put it towards you, you put your hand on here, and you knock it loose. Now that unloosens it. So we're going to tighten it up. Now this socket is a 30 millimeter socket. You do not want to put a crescent wrench on here. Pair a channel out. You don't want to put that because you're going to strip these little teeth off, the little ears of this little nut. It's too thin. That's why when I do my socket, I built this. This is a homemade wrench. When it's locked on there, I literally hold it in place and just slap it with my hand to loosen it. See how it loosens up toward me? But when you tighten it up, I just snug it up. Flip it over, snug it up. Now we're ready for our split rings. Put your split ring on there. You want to make sure you hear them click in place. So now they're locked in place. Put your next split ring on there. Here we go. Hear it click? Locked in place. The way that I test them is I put my M22 fitting on here, come over here and turn on the water.
You want to come out to the sun?
Yep. So whenever you start your brush up, every single time from your pole, you barely turn the ball valve until you start hearing water go through it, and then you can turn it wide open. Always remember, every time you start your brush, you got water going through your transmissions. It's lubricating those gears. So water goes through there, it comes out here, and it also comes out the hose on your axle. So when you turn it on slow until you get some water in there. See where the water's coming out? See where it's coming out right here? You got hose in your axle, and you have water coming out of 4 hose right here. And then when you turn it up, now you got all the water coming out. That's how you start your rotary brush up every single time. Lightly turn it till you get water into your transmission. That way you got some cooling and lubricant in there, and then you turn it wide open. Every single time. That's how you do it. And that's how you test your transmission.